Hey there, comic book fans. I am back from the comic shop again this week, and it was a big week at the comic shop. I got 14 comics, plus one in the mail. I'll show you that one. But first, we'll start out with the top of the printer museum covers, comics that I have on today. We've got X-Men 132 from 1980. By the way, this is the one with the last panel of Wolverine in the sewer popping up again. I cannot tell you how hard this comic hit back in 1980 when I was, well, how old was I? April, I was 13, I think. Man, this issue hit. That last page with Wolverine hit hard. It was the first appearance of badass Wolverine. Non-player, issue number 2. And this one was Byrne and Austin. This one, Nate Simpson. And Non-Player was a book that I think issue 1 came out in 2011. And then we never heard from Nate. He tried to get the book out. He couldn't, da-da-da. And so issue 2 came out. I think this one came out in 2015. So it took him 4 issues to get the second issue out. And we haven't seen one since. It was a good comic, really well drawn. And he just kind of got paralyzed by success, and it was a weird story. You can look it up sometime. Non-player 1 and 2. And then this is Submariner 56, an Alan Weiss cover, and this is the 15th and final of the Marvel 10th anniversary covers that I got. Covers in a box. For some reason, at the beginning of this, end of the spring, I decided I wanted to collect all. I probably had like 6 out of the 15. Decided I wanted to get all of them because there's a lot of good covers in this Submariner era that I just kind of always liked but never had. And I think I pulled the trigger. This was the last one. I pulled the trigger a little quick on it. It was only $12 all in on this one, tax and shipping included, so it was one of the cheaper ones. But it's got some, I don't know if you can see, it's got some folds in the, can't even get it in the, can't show it to you on screen. Let's try taking it out, see if we can show it to you without the bag. It's got these folds in it. Let's see if they show up. I didn't even open this. Still can't quite see them. There's there we go. Now I got 1, 2, 3 fold lines in it that make it not as attractive as it could be, but I was kind of like, this one was a little tougher to find in good condition, and I just didn't want to spend $20, $25 on the last one. So I was like, you know what, I'll get the $12 one, the $11 or $12 one. So picked up, now I'm going to make a video showing them all off. Let's see what I got at the comic shop. This one I picked off the shelf. All the rest were from my pull list. This is Paranoid Gardens number 1 from Dark Horse. And this was there last week, but I didn't get it. I didn't realize there was some Chris Weston artwork. Gerard Way is the writer. He's a rock star with something, and he's behind, I can't even remember the name of his famous comic that became a TV series. But, and this also, Dark Horse, there's even a UPC on the bag. Dark Horse ended up putting this selling it bagged and boarded, because I think there's a die cut there. So there's that. Let's see if we can open it up. It looks like that's one of those sealed bags. There's a die cut there that they were afraid was going to get messed up. So let's see what we got here. There we go. So I think they were afraid that die cut was going to get all messed up, which very well it might have. So they packaged them all in bags before then. So I thought that was a pretty, bags and boards before then. That was a good idea to do. And like I said, my friend said, I saw him, he mentioned that it was a Chris Weston book. I was like, I haven't seen Chris Weston's work in a while. I want to check that out. So I did. Then we've got Supermassive number 1. No, Supermassive 2024. This is an annual. That's the Massive Verse, which is Radiant Black and Rogue Sun and Radiant Pink, and I guess No One is in the Massive Verse too. I don't know if she's not really a superhero. So this is I think the third annual they've had. They're named with the years. So there was Supermassive 2022, 23, and this is 24. So pretty good. Massive versus a shared universe. So shared universe annual. I'll check it out. Then we've got Dave and Maria Lapham's Under Heist. Number 5 from Boom Studios. I'm not sure when this one. Let me switch to the end to see if it says to be continued or not. See if I can catch that. The end. So this is the last issue of Under Heist. Sort of a heist book, except I think they died and went to hell, and now they're like condemned to try and pull off this heist, which has gone bad. I think they're definitely in some afterlife still trying to pull off this heist kind of thing. So. Last issue of that. Then we've got Uncanny Valley issue 4. Tony Fleece and Dave Watcher. This is the one where the kid finds out he's half cartoon. And he's got some sort of cartoon superpowers. There's the kid. And the other cartoons are after him, and the rest of us can't see these cartoons. They just look like weird people to us, but they're actually cartoons. This one's been pretty good. This one I think I jumped on issue 3 and then went back and got 1 and 2, and I've been enjoying it. Because I've been enjoying Tony Fleece's writing and art. He draws Local Man, but he writes this and Feral, which I think is in here too. Let me see. Did we get an? Yeah, we got an. Here's another Tony Fleece. He's writing this one, Feral, which is sort of a cat zombie story. Writer Tony Fleece, art Trish Forstner and Tone Rodriguez. And I think Trish is drawing the cats and Tone is drawing everything else. There's this super fierce rabies outbreak that has turned all the animals into zombies, I guess. And the humans are trying to get it all under control, and they're having to wipe out the animals. So these house cats that escaped are trying to survive. So good stuff. And then, where's that old other Tony Fleece book? This looks like a Tony Fleece week for me. Local Man is his third book that I'm getting. There he is. And he's drawing this one. Oh, it's a flip book. That's the sort of 90s backup story, and this is the main story. Local Man is this superhero. Used to be a superhero in the 90s. Got kicked off the team now, had to move back home. Now there's all sorts of crazy stuff going on at home now. Like this super villain religious cult just took over after whatever happened in the first story arc. Now he's the super villain religious cult has taken over his town, so he's trying to deal with that. Oh, and he's not allowed to be a superhero because the team owns the copyright on all his stuff. Well, his look, his everything. So, and this is another last issue here. So what do we have? We have the last issue of Under Heist and the last issue of the Six Fingers. And this is by Dan Waters, Sumit Kumar, Lee Lowridge is the colorist, Aditya Bidikar is the letterer, Rich Folks is the production artist. So this is the one that there was another series that went with it that I didn't buy. But the other series was kind of like from the point of view of a detective, and this one was from the point of view of the serial killer. But is he really a serial killer? Is something possessing him? I've enjoyed it. I've enjoyed the series just on its own, even without the sister series. But that's the last last issue of that. And here we go with The Sire, issue number 8. I particularly like this cover too. This might be the nicest of the Sire covers. There are the other ones. Mike Dolce, who I used to play touch football with 25 years ago. We got Andres Barrero is doing the art on this one. Sometimes Mike draws it himself. He always writes it. Sometimes he hires people to draw it for him. The Sire is this superhero who gets powers from this suit who gives him orders. And if the suit tells him he has to go and see if these other guys are worthy of whatever superpowers they have, and if the suit says no, he's got to take their powers away. But I think we just had like a revamp. Who did this cover? Cover by Moog Park and Danielle Caramanico. There we go. Well, yeah, like that cover. Nice cover. It's been a fun book. Then we've got Psychodrama Illustrated, number 8. Some more Beto. Gilbert Hernandez. This is more of his Palomar stories. Let's see if... Oh, he tells two... There's a story up here, which is usually an adaptation of one of Fritz's... Fritz is one of his characters who's an actress. So they do adaptations of her movies in comic books. And then down the bottom, they have these little comic strips too, because these get reprinted. And I got some little hardcover books up there. They're like manga size kind of, and it's just fun stuff. I enjoy it thoroughly. Lots of nudity. I don't know. There's looks like there's ghosts attacking her and as she's naked, and as I just flip through. So I've no, often the B movies are horror movies, so we'll see what they are. Here's another last issue. No One, 10 of 10. This is another one that's in the Massive verse. You can see that little thing. But it didn't really tie into any of the other ones. It's more of a police procedural with some vague super-powered elements in it. I'm not even sure if anyone's actually super-powered in it. Sort of a police procedural, sort of a journalist procedural. Maybe there's a serial killer, maybe not. Is the guy superpowered? Is he not? There's the guy who might be superpowered or not. His name is No One. I'm not even sure. He's supposed to be taking out rich, powerful crooks in our society. Then we've got Monstrous, issue number 53. Monstrous is always good. 53 issues in. High fantasy. I think that's our lead character's father, who's kind of a wild card, and he took over one of the armies and has taken over a lot of the fights that's going on. So there he is. We'll see her dealing with... We'll see if, what's her name? The wolf can deal with her father. I forget her name. All of a sudden I forget. Marika the wolf or something. The half-wolf. That's it. She's a half-wolf. So Monstrous is always good. I enjoy Monstrous. Speaking of always good, it's Hate Revisited issue 2, and they're stinky. First issue of this was terrific, and I think it's called Revisited because he's just going to all different time periods in Buddy Bradley's life. Like the first one, it went back to the early 90s. There was like 4 stories in it. Went back to the early 90s, went back to the mid-90s, went back to the early 2000s. So there was all sorts of different things going on. Yeah, this looks like an early one because Stinky's still around. Stinky was his childhood friend who very shockingly died in what may have been an accident or may have been a suicide. We don't know. So, I mean, we saw it happen, but we still don't know. Way back when we saw this, in the 90s. So, there's some more Stinky. So this must be a lot of old stuff in here. The time period might be old, but... And this one he's flashing back to Stinky's death. So we'll have to see what happens in that one. Then I picked up a first issue. Greaser Gemini Blues. This is a Derek Robertson written book. Story by Derek Robertson, art by Stephen B. Jones, colors by Marcus Collar, letters by Sean Lee. I don't remember what this one was about, but I was like, I'll check out some Derek Robertson stuff. I thought he was drawing it, I think, but he's not. He's writing it. He's the co-creator of The Boys, in case you don't know, Derek Robertson. So I think it's like a 4-issue mini. I think I just put the first issue on from Magma Comics. I think I just put the first issue on my pull list, so we'll see. And then we've got the EC Comics Revival from Oni Press. So this is an Oni Press book, but it's also an official EC book. Who does this one? Here's all the credits. I'm, not even sure. So you're going to get 4 stories in here. How much was this? $5. So mine's got a little scratch on it. Art, Jorge Fornes. Art, Peter Krause. Art, Phil Hester. Art, Vlad Legostave. We'll see how it is. They got another one coming out too. All right, let me show you a little bit of my work before you go. We'll show you Dreams of Things, issue number 240. We went from 4 heads last week to just the one. Just the one person looking at us with lots of white dots down the side of his face. And this machine coming out of his head. I wonder if we push down on the top of that, it'll lower back into his head. I don't know. I like the color in this one. Got a lot of symmetry going on. The guy looks a little sad, doesn't he? He's like, help me. He's got a little help me look on his face. I don't know. Did I make a sad dream? I'm not sure. But I kind of like the way it came out. What did I do? That 6/12 is the date on that one. So there you go. Some comic books, some artwork. And you guys have a good week out there.